It was a serene spring morning, the kind that whispers promises of peace. Birds sang in the oak trees lining the quiet cul-de-sac, sunlight sparkled off parked cars, and a distant sprinkler hummed softly. Clara Bennett stood barefoot on her colonial-style home's porch, one hand cradling her 7-month pregnant belly, the other holding a mug of decaf. She smiled, watching neighborhood kids sketch dinosaurs with neon chalk across the street. Her daughter would soon join that vibrant world. Inside, her husband, Ethan, clinked plates, the scent of bacon wafting out. Everything felt safe, familiar, perfect. Clara stretched, wincing at the ache of her third trimester, when a low engine growl shattered the calm. A black SUV, windows tinted illegally dark, crept into the street like a predator. No plates, no markings, just a mirrored rear window reflecting the sun. Clara's smile faded. The SUV stopped in front of her driveway, idling too long. Both front doors opened, and 2 men in tactical vests, cheap sunglasses, and heavy boots stepped out. One clutched a clipboard, the other had a walkie-talkie clipped to his chest. Their vests bore patchy HOA enforcement labels, stitching frayed. Clara's eyes narrowed. Her neighborhood had no HOA. She knew every detail of this street, from fence lines to pet names. The shorter man, stocky with a shaved head, marched toward the porch. The taller one lingered by the SUV, typing on his phone. "Ma'am," the short one barked, "you're in violation of HOA Landscaping Code 37A. Clara blinked. "Who are you?" "We don't have an HOA. This street opted out years ago." Her grip tightened on the mug. He snapped, "Step aside, or we'll cite you for noncompliance." "That can escalate." "Escalate," she echoed. "For planting roses?" He stepped onto the porch, uninvited. "Your mulch bed violates visual cohesion, Clause 19.3. Bush is overgrown." Clara's heart raced, her protective instincts flaring. "Leave. You're trespassing." "I'm pregnant. My husband's inside." "Last warning." He moved fast, shoving her shoulder. Clara stumbled, her foot catching the doormat. She fell down the stone steps, mug shattering, landing hard on the brick path. Pain seared, but fear for her baby consumed her. She clutched her belly, vision blurring. A neighbor shouted. A dog barked. Then, silence, except for her pounding heart. Footsteps thundered. "Clara!" Ethan burst through the door, no longer the man making breakfast. A former Navy SEAL, he transformed into a protector, his calm deadly. He saw Clara crumpled, eyes wide with pain, and shifted into focus. The short man, still on the porch, turned, oblivious to the storm approaching. Ethan didn't run. He walked, deliberate, calculating force and distance. The taller man by the SUV looked up, frowning. "Sir, we're conducting." "Shut up." Ethan cut him off, voice ice cold. The short man scoffed. She resisted inspection. "You're noncompliant." Ethan's eyes locked on him. "Did you push my wife?" The man chuckled nervously. "She got in the way." "Wrong answer." Ethan's hand shot out, grabbing the man's vest, yanking him nose to nose. 3 seconds to explain before you lose every tooth behind that fake badge. The man shoved Ethan's chest, a fatal mistake. Ethan's elbow cracked into his jaw, the sound echoing like a gunshot. The man collapsed, unconscious, into Clara's rosebed. Gasps erupted. Phones raised, recording. Ethan turned to the taller man, now frozen by the SUV. "Don't be stupid," Ethan warned, advancing. The man fumbled his walkie. "Back up, code." Ethan closed the gap, twisted his arm, and hurled him into the decorative fountain. Water exploded, the cherub statue toppling as the man flailed, soaked and humiliated. Clara, still on the ground, felt a neighbor, Mrs. Larson, kneel beside her. "You okay, honey?" Clara nodded shakily. "The baby's moving." "I'm okay." Ethan dropped beside her, brushing hair from her face. "You're safe," he whispered, voice breaking. Sirens wailed. Officer Mitchell, a local veteran cop, arrived, recognizing Ethan and Clara. "What happened?" Ethan stood. "They claimed HOA enforcement." "There's no HOA. One pushed my wife. I stopped them." Mitchell glanced at the unconscious man and the fountain flailer. "Stopped them with a concussion and a swim lesson?" Ethan's jaw tightened. "They touched my pregnant wife." EMTs checked Clara, confirming the baby's heartbeat. The crowd grew, neighbors, phones out, murmuring. A teen's live stream was already viral. Mitchell uncovered the truth. Fake IDs, a cracked phone revealing photos of homes, families, schedules. Notes like, "Widow lives alone, 10 a.m., exposed a scam targeting the vulnerable. The men weren't pranksters. They were predators, hitting neighborhoods with fake fines, extorting elderly and isolated residents. Clara and Ethan were their first resistance. The courtroom was electric, packed with neighbors, victims, and reporters. Judge Eleanor Kane, known for her no-nonsense rulings, stared down the defendants, Mark Ramsey and Carl Holt. Ramsey, jaw wired shut, slumped in defeat. Holt, cuffed, avoided Clara's gaze, his plea deal sparing him years but not shame. Their ringleader, Victor Slade, faced federal charges elsewhere. Kane's voice cut through. This was no prank. It was predation, targeting the elderly, the alone, and a pregnant woman in her home. She praised Clara's courage, sentencing Ramsey to 6 years, no parole for 4, and Holt to 18 months plus fraud prevention service. Outside, Clara and Ethan dodged cameras. An elderly woman, Helen, approached. They scammed me. I was ashamed. You gave me courage. Clara squeezed her hand. You stood up too. That night, Clara placed the court transcript beside a sonogram, whispering, "Justice isn't revenge, it's resolve." Months later, their daughter, Hope, was born strong, her tiny fist curling as if ready to fight. The fountain, cracked but standing, bore a plaque. Here fell the fake. May truth always rise. The story faded from headlines, but its impact lingered. The Bennett Act passed, mandating verified enforcement IDs. Neighborhoods united, seniors empowered. Notes appeared by the fountain. Thanks from strangers, stories of courage inspired by Ethan's stand. The viral video, "Fake HOA Thugs Crushed by Seal Husband," hit millions of views. Comments flooded. This is love, not violence. He's a hero. Others debated. Was the punch too far? The footage, Clara's fall, Ethan's strike, the fountain splash, became a symbol of suburban justice. Clara wrote in her journal, "For hope, you were born from chaos, but you'll live for truth." One frosty morning, Clara stood by the fountain, hope in her arms. Ethan lit the porch lamp, its glow catching the cracked cherub. "Remember the silence after the splash?" Clara asked. Ethan nodded. The world held its breath. She smiled. "That's when I knew we'd won." What do you think? Was Ethan's response justice or vengeance? Should Clara have de-escalated? Share your thoughts below. Let's debate what protection means in love and community. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories that spark real talk.